When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. I love the Mexican people. I love the spirit of the Mexican people. I love them. Many, many people from Mexico, legal. They went in the old-fashioned way. They're legal.
Time now for the segment we call Celebrity Behavior. Donald Trump, racist or misunderstood? Back with Judy, Vanessa, Mike, and Lisa. Vanessa, let's start with you. Where do you ring in on that issue?
He's a racist! He's a racist! I love the Mexican people. Like, it's froyo. Like, oh, that's delicious. You can't talk about people like this. These are human beings. These are people that have worked for him, that have built his companies, that have worked and built his clothing. And you talk about people as if they're disposable and they're nobodies. He's a disgusting rapist. I mean, sorry, racist.
We've gone from rapist to racist.
Racist.
We're only talking about our behavior today,
That was the last
our
segment.
behavior.
He's a racist.
Judy, you're shaking your head.
Okay, well, you know what? Donald Trump is obviously just ignorant as hell. I'm so sorry. But he has no idea what the immigrant constellation actually is, what those people do, what the Mexican government does. He doesn't have any idea. And actually, I'm a little bit worried about his cognitive status, Dr. Drew. Can we get him so I can do a neuropsych eval on him? He's been circumstantial and crazy in his speech.
But you may be surprised. Mike, what have you guys been dealing with every day on the radio?
Here's the deal. And I personally do not believe, as a Mexican American, I do not believe Donald Trump is a racist. I think he's a guy who has made his career outside of construction development as being an abrasive, shoot-from-the-hip entertainment figure, and now he's speaking on a podium as a presidential candidate, and it all backfired. Well, he can't go off. He's not firing someone on the Celebrity Apprentice. He's addressing the United States people in hopes to win a presidential candidacy.
What do we have to manage every day on the radio? What kind of phone calls do we get?
I'm so happy that someone's actually speaking out for me, and I've been inundated with nothing but a bunch of Mexicans who are taking my jobs and taking my livelihood away.
Let me bring in Gina Loudon. She's the host of America Trends on U2 America. Gina, we have spoken to Mike and I just armies of people who feel, well, I think Trump has tapped into some sort of anger, and that anger has led to a scapegoating of undocumented immigrants.
I think that, of course, Ms. Steinle's mother and dad, who just lost their daughter a little over a week ago due to this sort of rhetoric, would probably agree that some of the people coming across the border do put American lives in danger. They lost their daughter. You look at statistics like Huffington Post's own statistic that said more than 80% of the women coming across the border are raped before they ever get here, Dr. Drew. Someone's committing these rapes, and I think that trying to stick our heads in the sand and squelch free speech is far more dangerous than just accepting that we might need to have this conversation.
Ridiculous.
But Vanessa, that's what Mike and I think the anger is. People are so angry at having any little misstep in their speech being attacked that when Trump just bombastically goes out and says whatever he wants, people are like, oh, I'm not sure I heard it, but okay, whatever you say.
What's problematic with his statement is that it's a stereotype. It just lumps all of these people in one category. And to say that there are only Mexicans that are crossing the border that are raping people and killing people in America is asinine. Look, we have white people killing people, black people killing people. Every race kills somebody.
What he said was Mexicans are, we just saw the clip. We just saw the clip, and what he said was Mexicans are criminals and rapists. Not all of them, meaning most of them, meaning in general. That is by definition a racist statement. You know, if a white guy commits a crime like Dylan Ruth in North Carolina, killing a bunch of black people, we don't say all white people are
Gina.
criminals.
Lisa from the audience. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, you all need to leave Trump alone, okay? Because I am for Trump today and forever. Trump is all about money. You guys are focused on issues, and we need to focus on world issues and not world problems, and that's what he's been trying to do, so I cheer him up. And you know what? He's in real estate, and a bunch of us probably need some homes right now and losing their homes, and I think he can fix the problem. I'm all for Trump. I am for Trump. You guys are focused on things that don't matter today, okay?
Wait, you
about Mexican and racism. That has nothing to do do with anything. Okay, we need to focus on the matter. We need to focus on the matter. He can make this world a better place because he know how to make money, he know how to get money, and he can help us in this real estate trauma that we are in today.
So what I'm hearing is, no, hang on now. She fascinates me. What's your name?
Sekhmet Shabaka.
I'm not sure I got
Sekhmet Shabaka.
Segment. You're expressing what I'm hearing a lot of other people express, which is anger and frustration at the current situation, economic situation, the sort of the PC situation, politically correct speech. Nobody can misspeak on anything. This is all frustrating you. So you just like that this guy is going out who has made a bunch of money himself and is just bombastically saying whatever he wants, right? That's what you're relating to. You're not really listening to what he's saying.
No, I'm listening to what he said. He said a lot more greater things that nobody focused on. One great thing that he did say, and I listened to him, and he said that he can make this world a better financial place, which is what we need because we are really in debt. We are really in debt, and hey, if he can make all that money, I feel like he can do wonders for us. Who wouldn't want to live in a Donald Trump building today?
What proof has he given you? I can say I can make the world a better place. I can say I can fill your house with rainbows and candies, but until I deliver, it doesn't make a difference.
All I gotta say is leave Donald Trump alone. I am for Donald Trump today, and I bet you he's going to make it. I bet you with everything he's going to make it. I got his vote, and you know what?
Listen,
you guys need to vote for him too.
Ma'am, I'm sure Donald Trump really wanted this segment, support. That was very important to him. But I will say that the one thing Segment said that did make some sense is that what he's saying today truly isn't important because this is a man who is doing the best job he can possible to win a primary with no hope of winning the popular vote. Well, the white vote on the Republican ticket has slowly declined every 4 years. Hold on. The white vote has declined for the Republican every year. He is not going to get.
She does not look like a white person to me.
I know, but he is not going to gain in a United States that is
probably a Democrat too. Are you a Democrat?
Yes, I'm a Democrat.
See, he's mobilized a lot of people. Gina, what are you trying to say here? Go ahead.
You are absolutely right. I'm watching the dynamics of this. And Dr. G, you know my background's in human development. He has no motive to lie. His business has been attacked. His family has been attacked. And I'm not the biggest Trump fan, okay? But what your audience member said is absolutely the truth. He is pulling from segments of feminists, of Democrats, the likes of which the Republican Party has never seen.
I just think people are angry. People are angry, and he's tapped into that. You know what I mean?
Into that. Yeah. It's like the mob mentality that he's tapping into.
It's different. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I think Trump is a racist bastard because you know what? He wouldn't be nothing without our people because our people built his company. Our people works hard for his company, and you know what? 90% of this country is our people. You know what I mean?
No,
like
90.
Well, no, but it's certainly a majority. Listen, a majority in this state. Yeah, a majority in this state are Hispanic now, right? I mean, that's a fact. So listen, let me what would the word be? Let us take a deep breath. Yes. And then we'll continue this conversation. Yes. And later on, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about Donald Trump, the latest lightning rod in the debate over race and racism. We put a poll out there. The question was, do you think Trump's comments about immigrants are racist? 42% yes, 58% say no. Back with Judy, Vanessa, Mike, Gina on Skype, and Lisa still with us. Gina, your reaction to that poll?
It doesn't surprise me at all, and the polling I've done for my own show has been very similar, and I think it's because, first of all, a lot of us are accepting as truth what we've been told in the media about what Trump said, rather than actually listening to his words. If you really listen to his words, rather than what you've been fed by media, you'll hear that he says, there are, meaning among the illegals coming across the border, there are some criminals, there are some rapists. I don't know anyone who would disagree with that fact, so I don't see why this has been so blown out of proportion, and we need to be careful here.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you, it's us. It's us. Yes. We're angry. We're frustrated. He has tapped into it by creating a scapegoat, by saying outrageous things, and it's us.
That's right. We're creating this because we're mad and we want an explanation for all the things that are wrong.
Segment up there, she's angry, and she wants some faith in somebody who's saying, I'm going to take you out of this, I'm going to lead you, and we're going to grow, right, Segment? That's what you want. And you want somebody who puts a light on their head and leads the group out of the mess we're in.
And the scapegoat really helps with that, just having something or someone to blame for all of your problems, and that's what he's tapping to.
But just one segment ago, I said I do not feel like Donald Trump is a racist. I don't believe that. I'm a Mexican-American, but it's unfair to also say that what he said, ma'am, and the way that he worded it was not a bit inappropriate. I think for a presidential candidate, and he did say his exact comment was Mexico is sending us their criminals, rapists, and murderers, and that was what he said. He then had the caveat of, I'm sure there's some good ones out there.
I assume there's some good ones.
He needs to apologize, and he didn't. He said, I said exactly what I meant.
And Lisa, we had 2 weeks ago after Charleston, we had all these conversations about the subtleties of racism. Here's some outrageous statements, and we're like, I'm not sure. Yes, sir, what do you say?
I'm saying they are, not there are.
Right.
They are.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Also, one thing we have to think about is that Trump is a businessman. He is not a politician. He's not here to make anything better for any of us, except for himself. He's an opportunist. He's a multi-bankruptcy real estate mogul who's still a billionaire. Do you know anybody who's who's gone into bankruptcy and has retained all their money to this degree?
That's not so uncommon for developers. That's simply a fact.
But it's continuous.
But it's shady.
In this case, he's running for an office that is going to lead us as an American president.
Got it.
And that's not one way to lead us, is lead us into debt and then show us how to get out of it and keep all your money. That's not honest, and that's not real.
Gina, what do you say?
His business has taken major hits for this. And let's not forget, Hillary Clinton made very similar statements, Dr. Drew, before she flip-flopped on the issue of illegal immigration, and nobody's calling her to task for it.
That's because she never said that illegal immigrants were criminals and rapists. That's
very true. I mean, I think that the argument is getting very blurry, because this is not about Donald Trump's stance on illegal immigration, nor is it about any other candidate's stance on illegal immigration. This is about how you can interpret Donald Trump's comments and how they affect Mexican people, whether they may be Mexican Americans or people of the country of Mexico.
Mexicans, Hispanic people should be very conservative values. I'm surprised they don't back more conservative candidates, but this may or may not work in their favor. I want to throw another issue into the mix here. Joining me is Mark Gruber, author of Rehab Nation. Now, Mark, you make a historical analogy to what is happening with Trump's remark and what social media and the mob does to people who use language that is non-PC or unpopular.
Thanks, Dr. Drew. The analogy that I was making with you last week was about the Red Scare and communism back in the 50s, and how the movement to find communists in the 50s ended up destroying people's lives the same way this smear about racism is ruining people's lives today.
So in a way, it's using the mob mentality to help to force people to not get work and lose their jobs because they are attached to some what we call it, an ideology that is considered completely unacceptable today, right? It's
Absolutely.
The same thing.
I mean, there was a communist under every bed in America in the 1950s. Joseph McCarthy, a senator from Wisconsin, went around with an imaginary list smearing everyone as a communist or a communist sympathizer. The Hollywood 10 were the top actors and screenwriters in Hollywood who went to jail in the 1950s simply for knowing a communist or reading a book about communists or seeing a movie related to communists. It's very similar to the climate today, Dr. Drew, in America.
I'm going to get Mark. Thank you for that comment, Lisa. You understand what he's saying?
So we can't call people racist when they say an entire group of people are criminals and rapists.
No, you can, but can you necessarily? Can you? Because even Brian Williams, who isn't being accused of being a racist, he's being accused of not being completely honest. Job out. So the mob takes jobs away from people.
I don't think that was the mob. I think that was NBC, and you know,
worried about their bottom line.
And by the way, he's back now at MSNBC. So I mean,
but you get what Mark's saying.
You shouldn't call out somebody for racism when they make the most explicitly racist remark we've ever heard in a presidential campaign, at least in the last 10 or 20 years.
Ms. Bloom,
it's ridiculous.
Your points are well taken, but I think what the gentleman on the phone and Dr. Drew is trying to say, and I agree with completely, is that the court of public opinion has never been more powerful and more strong when we have something like Twitter, 24-hour news cycles, magazines with no journalistic credibility or no need for journalistic credibility.
It's great if you can see
the people.
Yeah, right, but be able to speak your mind without a mob getting blood,
if he speaks his mind and it's racist, he's going to get called on it, and he should. I think that's a great thing.
I agree with you, called on it. I agree, called.
And he's going to be held to a higher regard because he's running for president. If he's just talking as Donald Trump running his Miss America enterprise, that's different. But if he's talking as Donald Trump, I'm the presidential candidate, he has to be held to a higher bar.
But I completely agree with you. But again, let's remember, he's losing his relationship with NBC, he's losing his jobs, he's losing his
well, maybe he should. Because he clearly doesn't even understand the Mexican people.
He
really doesn't.
Right.
But
the
Vanessa,
labels that
hang on, whoa, one at a time. Vanessa.
When they make your clothes, there are labels that say made in Mexico, but you're saying, oh, they're stealing our jobs and they're rapists and killers.
Right.
That's asinine. Like, no, we can't support you. Yes, you should lose your clothing line.
Here's what's interesting.